in a research assignment. How much were the Jews interested in proselytization, or were people actually just coming because they were attracted by it? If you judge by modern Judaism, then they're not very interested in proselytization. They don't have a worldwide mission like the Mormons, I can tell you that. Okay, so anyway, so this is on the party of against the circumciser. So that's against the party of the circumcision. So Peter tells them this whole thing and everything that happened to him, and then in 18 the conclusion is, and hearing these things they were silent and glorified God, saying, truly God has given the repentance of life to the Gentiles too. So according to this, everyone is happy, everyone's getting along fine, right? We have harmony, everyone accepts Peter's view and so on, but Galatians doesn't present a picture like that. And Galatians is after this. So even though everything is resolved here according to this picture, which you will agree is a pro-Pauline picture, and it may be the truth, but it's still a pro-Pauline picture, Galatians, it does not, there is not harmony in any way yet on these issues. We're about to get into the Pauline missionary activity for the rest of Acts. We have one more thing to go, and that is the introduction of James. And that will come against the background of a third thing we've been following in this class from Eusebius. Remember? Famine relief. Who's the famine relief person in Eusebius? Queen Helen of Adiabene and her sons, who are converts to Judaism, according to Josephus. Now, they may not have been. The Judaism they were converted to may have been a peculiar form of Judaism. Because as you will remember, it's in the Antiquities. If you want to go read it, he has the Antiquities here. And I'm really jealous of him because I had that book and it's missing now. And I'm going to go find my copy because that was a really good collection that he's got there. But you can get it in used bookstores. I'm still looking for my book. In the Antiquities, it's not in the war, but Eusebius quotes parts of it. He's aware of it. There are some teachers out in northern Iraq, northern Syria, the present-day Kurdistan, on the Tigris and Euphrates rivers, which we're now all familiar with, that get in, and Helen is the queen of these people east of this place called Edessa, which is in northern Syria, where this young lady's forebears come from, and is where the king of the Edessenes seemed to hold sway. And Eusebius, as we remember, called him Agabus or Abgarus, and he was the king of the peoples beyond the Euphrates, Edessa being on the Euphrates basically, and these other areas being east of the Euphrates, but he was still holding sway up to where the Persians would have been. And I say to you that I think Queen Helen was part of under his control, that Adiabene was not a really independent country at that time, but was connected to the land of the Edessenes and the rulers at Edessa. And in fact, Edessa and Adiabene in Semitic language are connected roots. And the prophet Adai that goes to those places, on which our friend Thaddeus is based, also is connected to that ad root. And Semitic language, as you probably know, a few others in this room will appreciate, Dennis probably understands, he's done some Semitic languages, that it's all based on roots. So if you get an ad in anything, whether it's Adai or Edessa or Adiabene, you're getting a related language complex. So I think these things are all connected. How and why, I don't have the answer. But Queen Helen, according to Josephus, is converted to something resembling Judaism, but it's a peculiar form of Judaism. The person who converts her, of course, was who? Ananias. He's the hero of the Agabus story too. He's the intermediary between the Jerusalem apostles and the king Agbar in Edessa. And there's another companion with him, an unnamed companion in Josephus' Antiquities, and I think that person is Paul. Why isn't he named? You know, there's problems here on certain characters, I guess. He has a second unnamed teacher, and they are both distinguished by the fact that they say circumcision is not required. And that's Paul's position in the letters and in Acts. So, Queen Helen is not converting to a normative form of Judaism according to the picture in Josephus. But then other teachers come from Galilee and find her children reading the Bible, as we told you. Two of her offspring who later become kings of Edessa. One called Ezad, I think he's called King Ezad of Edessa. And he feels you should circumcise. Because the teacher says, do you understand the meaning of what you're reading? They're reading Genesis 17, where Abraham circumcised all his household. Immediately that God made the promises to him. You can read that passage. They run out and circumcise. It's all about circumcision. I hate to keep on about. You think I'm obsessed with circumcision, which I'm not. I never think about it outside this class. It's just that this literature is obsessed with it, not me.
Is it Eliezer?
Yeah, it's Eliezer from Galilee. And he obviously is a zealot or a Sicarii or whatever. He's a forcible circumciser, he's a Sicarii. He's call him a zealot, call him an extremist, call him whatever you want, call him party of the circumcision. He teaches a different gospel, if you want to call it that. And they run and then they circumcise themselves. And then they're the ones who do the famine relief. And that's how Paul is going to be, Paul's missionary and later activities are going to be introduced within the context of the famine relief. So again, I would go there. I would put Paul and Ananias among Queen Helen's famine relief agents whom she sent to Palestine. As it's presented here, or her sons, or Agabus, or whoever is doing this famine relief. As it's presented here, it's the church in Antioch. And that bears on what Antioch? We all agree now that that's an issue. You understand this now? And I make special difference to my friend here because she's familiar with these areas more than the rest of us because her ancestors came from there. And so she knows how important those areas to her and her culture framework really are. And to my mind, they're very important too. I think that this is the cradle of most of this material. And they don't even know themselves, to my mind, how important what went on in their areas are. They're not even aware of it because they've absorbed a more orthodox view of things. I'm sure her teachers or priests or religious people they know it's important, but they're not aware of how much because their view is more orthodox than mine. Okay, in any event, we're finished with that. God gave repentance life to the Gentiles. See, there's an actual logic to all this. After all this, now we're ready for the missions. Because it's not at the end of the chapter, but 11:18 says God gave